Okay, guys, so we're going to continue with the lecture that we started with on Monday. We finished from the phonics part, and as I said that you have dictation in the phonics word, so do not forget to do the dictation. The link for the Flipgrid dictation is on the schedule, and I also sent it on the parents group. Now it's time to start with the vocabulary words and the reading lesson because tomorrow we have to do the worksheet and finish it before you do the quiz on a Friday. So our vocabulary words for this time are, please listen to me carefully how to read them. Acquaintance, acquaintance, cautiously, sorry, what happened? Acquaintance, cautiously, complimentary, jumble, logical, scornfully, scrounging, and trustworthy. Okay, so these are our new vocabulary words for this lecture. What do we mean by acquaintance? When we read the definition, acquaintance is someone you know, but who is not a close friend. For example, you or we all as people know other people. Some are very close to us, but others are not close. We do not talk a lot, but we know them. Okay, so what do we call these people? We call them acquaintance. Okay, we call them acquaintance. When you start talking to each other and you get to know each other more, then you will become the friends, you will become more than acquaintance. Example, Joe talked to his new acquaintance, Tony, hoping to get to know him better. So Joe knows Tony, but they are not close friends, so they are acquaintance. Acquaintance. Okay? Let me ask you a question. What's the difference between an acquaintance and a friend? For example, if you have a secret, yes, Amal, would you tell it to an acquaintance or to a friend?
Um,
If you have a secret,
acquaintance. Yeah.
you tell it to an acquaintance or to a friend?
Um. Acquaintance.
No, we tell it to the friend because the friend is closer to us than the acquaintance. The acquaintance is someone that I just know, that we are not very close to each other. Okay? When people are not close to each other but they know each other, we say that they are acquaintances. Okay? So acquaintance is someone you know but is not a close friend. The second word, cautiously. Cautiously. When you do something cautiously, you do it with a great care, with a great attention. Okay, so you pay a great attention when you do it, so you do it cautiously. You have to be cautious, for example, so you do it cautiously. Eric gently and cautiously touched the owl's feathers. So you see, the boy is touching the owl's feathers. So he touched them cautiously with a great attention, with a great care. Okay, for example, Iltaf cautiously lifted up the hot pot. Okay, it says it's hot, so she has to lift it up cautiously. So she has to hold it cautiously in order not to burn her hand, for example. Clear? Clear? Acquaintance and cautiously. Are they clear?
Yes, they're
Yeah.
very.
Okay, great. Let's continue.
Yes, we're
Complimentary.
understanding.
Okay, great. Complimentary. When we say something complimentary, it comes from the word complete. So it makes something complete. Complimentary, they complete each other. They become a whole. Okay, so when we say that things are complementary, we mean they complete each other. For example, my friend and I are complementary. We complete each other. We feel like we are very close, so we complete each other. Another example, peanut butter and jelly taste good because they are complementary foods. Complementary foods, we can eat them together. They complete each other, so they give us a good taste, a delicious taste, for example, here. Let give me another examples of food that you find complementary. Give me examples of food that you find complementary. What food you find complementary?
Mass?
Yes.
Is it the same meaning of combination?
Combination. Yes, when they are complementary, they make a great combination together. We can say that when they are complementary, they make a great combination with each other.
Does that okay? Does this
Miss,
mean something together? It makes something good.
What? I didn't understand what you said. Noor, you were talking? Or Nancy?
Miss
Nancy.
Soup and
Nancy, not me.
salt is
Salt and
complementary.
what? Soup and salt? Yeah, Hassan?
Yeah.
Soup and salt, you find them
Yes.
complementary? Yes, why not? Yes, why not? Okay, so complementary, we mean they complete each other, they become as a whole, okay? They make a great combination. Jumble. Let's move to jumble. Sorry, let's continue. Jumble. A jumble is a confused mixture or condition when things are confused with each other. If you look at the picture, look how the goggles are and the look how the goggles and the snorkels are jumbled. They are mixed with each other. They are not organized, so they make a jumble. Okay. And is it easy for you to look for something in a jumble? Is it easy to find something when there is a jumble?
No.
No, it's not easy at all because when they say jumble, we mean they are mixed with each other, they are confused. It's not easy for us, they are not organized. It will not be easy to find whatever we want. So the jumble of masks and snorkels lay tangled together in the bottom of the boat. For example, when you put the threads together, they make a jumble. So it will not be easy to take everyone alone. Give me an example of something that you might find a jumble at the bottom of a closet. What would you find a jumble at the bottom of the closet? Your closet sometimes isn't it
No.
in a jumble?
No.
No, it's always organized. It's always your closets are always organized. Your closets are always organized. They do not make jumbles. There are no jumbles at the bottom of your closets. I sometimes find a jumble at the bottom of my closet because sometimes when I'm in a hurry, I just throw my clothes into the closet. When I come back, I find them in a jumble. Then I reorganize them. Okay, so you might find a jumble sometimes. Or for example, when I put the vegetables quickly together in the fridge, yes, they make a jumble. Then I come back when I'm free and I organize them again. So jumble when things are mixed and confused with each other. Is it clear? Clear?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, I jumble a lot of things by accident.
yes, by accident. Yes, yes,
Miss,
happens. Yes, Rawad.
can I give you a sentence about jumble?
Yes, why not? Give me.
I have a jumble of papers.
Papers, nice. I have a jumble of papers. I have a jumble of pencils. Excellent. Bravo, bravo, Rawad. Thank you, Miss. Now let's move to logical. Something logical, it makes sense. You think with it in your mind. When you make something when you think about something logically, you're thinking about it in a correct way. Okay, for example, on a multiple choice test, that girl tried to figure out the most logical answer. For example, when I ask you a question, you try your best to give me the correct answer, right? So you think logically, you give a logical explanation for your answer. When I ask you, why did you use this word, for example, not that word, or why did you use this verb instead of the second? Okay, because you think logically, you give a logical answer. Okay, you have to give a correct answer. You have to think of something correctly or to do something correctly that makes sense. Okay, based on a reason. For example, if you want to arrange the books, what logical way would you follow to arrange the books? Would you arrange the books in a logical way? According to what you arrange the books, for example.
Organize.
Yes, yes.
According to the titles.
Titles, maybe titles, that's right, titles or levels, or I might say according to the alphabetical order. Bravo, ya Ali, thank you. Scornfully, scornfully. For example, now I tell Ali, Ali, please, what would I ask you, for example? Ali, Ali, please leave the phone and pay attention now. And he would say, okay, yes, I will leave the phone. How did he say, or how did he reply? He replied in a scornfully way. In a scornful way. Okay, so he replied scornfully. He didn't show. He showed dislike. He didn't like what I told him, or he was making fun of me. Yeah, okay, okay, yes, I will leave the phone and I will pay attention. For example, he says like that. Okay, but pay attention. Scornfully, being scornfully sometimes is not good. Okay, not good to be scornful to others, or especially when a grown up is talking to us, we have to be respectful. Scornfully, sometimes being being disrespectful sometimes. Okay, so when you do something scornfully, when you do something scornfully, you do it with dislike. You do it with dislike. Stop unmuting yourselves, guys. Okay, you do not like what you are doing, or you're making fun of it, so you do it scornfully. The mother spoke scornfully to her son about his bad study habits. Okay, she didn't like it. She didn't like his study habits, so she talked scornfully to him. So we might talk scornfully or speak scornfully when there is something that we do not like. We move on. Scrounging. Okay. For example, if you want to find something in a mess, if there is a jumble and you want to find something in that jumble, you will look for it while scrounging. Okay, you scrounge for something. You look with it for it with difficulty, because it's difficult to find something in a messed up or in a confused container. Then you have to scrounge for it. You look for something with difficulty. For example, Tina saw the cat scrounging through the overflowing trash can. Look at this cat over the trash can. Since the trash can is messed up, then the cat is looking for food. Please stop unmuting yourselves. Since the trash can is messed up, is confused, okay, so the cat would not find its food easily. Would not find its food easily, so the cat was scrounging for in that trash can. It was looking for something with difficulty. Okay, with difficulty. Um, last word, trustworthy. Trustworthy means that you can rely on someone, you can depend on others, you can trust them. Okay, when you are climbing a mountain, when you are a mountain climbing, it is good to have a trustworthy partner. Why is it good to have a trustworthy partner in difficult situations? Because you know and you're sure that you can trust them and you can depend on them, and that they will help you at any time. Okay, they will help you at any time. That's what we mean by trustworthy. For example, my friend is trustworthy because I can depend on her in my difficult times. Okay, these are the vocabulary words: acquaintance, cautiously, complimentary, jumble, logical, scornfully, scrounging, trustworthy. Let's solve this small exercise. الطاف. الطاف.
Use a word from
Yes.
the box to answer each question. What were the mice doing when they were looking on the ground for food?
Mhm. If the mice are looking on the ground for food, so what they are doing?
Scrolling.
Scrounging. Scrounging. Bravo. Bravo يا مس. Bravo الطاف. Thank you يا مس. Okay. علي حمود.
Let's miss.
Number 2.
Which word could you use to describe
Again, repeat
jumble?
it. Okay. Which word would
Which
you
word?
use?
Which word would you use to describe a mess?
Yes.
Jumble.
Excellent. Thank you, يا علي. Thank you, يا مس. علي فواز. Oh, sorry, I said Ali Fawaz. Then I moved to to Hassan. Ali Fawaz. Number 3,
What
ma'am.
do you Yeah. What do you call a person you know? Acquaintance.
Excellent. Acquaintance. Bravo. I'm very proud of you guys today. Hassan. 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 Hassan, you left? Where is he?
Miss, can I do it?
Yalla, okay. Kareem.
No, Rawad.
Rawad. Oh, sorry, Rawad. Your voice is similar to Kareem's voice. Yalla, Rawad, number 4, please.
Okay.
How was the
Was the
judge acting
judge acting when his
when she told
when she told the
politician
politician
he had
he
broken
had
broken
broken
the law?
the law?
If someone had broken the law, how would you talk to him? Would you like what he did or she did?
No.
No.
Talk to him scornfully.
What?
Scornfully.
Yes, scornfully. Thank you, Yarawad. Thank you, Miss. Okay, Jude. Where are you?
Yes.
Number 5.
What is another word for carefully?
Yes.
What's the second word?
Which one? This one?
Carefully.
Cautiously. Cautiously, we say. Cautiously. Bravo, Jude. Bravo, Miss. Thank you. Talia.
Yes.
Number 6.
How would you describe someone you can
Rely
rely
on. You can depend on. You can trust them. If you rely on someone, you're sure that they will help you. You trust them. You can depend on them. So how would we describe this person?
Trustworthy.
Trustworthy. Thank you, Talia. Thank you, Noor.
Miss,
What mess?
can I ask something?
Not just wait a second, yeah.
Someone
Who is very sensible. Sensible, he thinks in a correct way. He tries to find the correct way or the correct answer for everything.
Logical.
Logical. Thank you, Yanur. Yes, Hassan?
Can I do the last?
Yes, yes.
What is another word for making whole? Compliment.
Complimentary. Thank you, Miss. Thank you. Yes, Amal, what do you want to ask? Amal?
Yes.
What do you want to ask?
I wanna ask like I didn't so much understand what's meaning of logical.
Logical. Okay, logical, we use it when we are thinking in a correct way. We try to find the best way, the most correct way to do something or to answer a question. Okay, we think based on our mind, based on a reason. Is it clear now?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So guys, before we start reading our story, let's talk a little bit about the genre and about the skill. Let's talk about the genre because it's very important and you have to know it before the quiz. The genre is fantasy. Fantasy. What do you mean by fantasy? And now you're going to notice while reading the story. Our selection at the library, we're going to read it, is a fantasy. Why? Because it includes invented, you see, they are invented characters and settings. So the characters and settings are not real, they are invented. Okay? So the writer just imagined them and wrote them down. They are invented, they are not real. It has elements, the fantasy has elements or events, we mean events, that could not exist in real life. The events could never, never, never happen in real life. For example, you might find a talking animal, you might find things speaking for you to you, for example a talking table. Okay, and now you're going to notice what these elements are in the story. And often we have illustrations, we have drawings. So the most important to pay attention to in a fantasy, that the characters and settings, please keep them in mind, characters and settings are invented, they are not real, they do not seem real at all, and the elements and the events, everything in the story could not exist in real life. Okay? Nothing can exist in real life according when it's mentioned in a fantasy. That's it. Keep the genre in your mind because it's important for the quiz. And we still have author's point of view. What do we mean by author's point of view? Whenever we want to talk about the author's point of view, we have to know first of all if the writer is a character in the story or not. Okay. طيب, how do I know if the character is the writer is a character in the story or not? We mean the narrator, the one who's telling the narrator. If he's telling the story, then if he's telling the narrator is the person. Sorry, excuse me. The narrator is the person who tells the story, and we have to know if he's a character or not. If he's a character in the story, so he uses the pronouns I, us, we, for example. So we say it's first person narrator. But if the narrator is not a character in the story, he uses the pronouns he, she, they, them. Okay? So we call it third person narrator. You have to keep it in mind. You have to keep it in mind that when the narrator of the story uses the pronouns he, she, they, or them, for example, we say it's a third person narrator. What is it? Third person narrator, which means that the narrator is not a character in the story, he is just telling us the story, he is a teller. Okay? But if you find the pronouns I, you, we, us, for example, then the narrator is a character in the story. Okay, we say that it's first person narrator. Keep in mind the pronouns he, she, they, them. This means it's a third person narrator and the narrator is not a character in the story, and then you can do the opposite when we talk about the other person narrator. Okay, please keep it in mind. Also the point of view and the fantasy are required for the quiz. Please guys, revise this lecture very well for the quiz on Friday. Tomorrow we're going to do the worksheet, don't worry, tomorrow we're going to do the worksheet together. Let's read the story now. At the library. At the library.
Miss, can I read?
Yes, read Lana.
At the library, Rick Johnson
Dodson. Rick Dodson.
Dodson admired admired the pink and orange sky as he waved goodbye to Mrs. Royal and locked the library door. As the sun began its descent behind the blue ridge mountains, Rick started walking to his office to collect his jacket. Seeing a jumble of books on a reading table, he sighed and began to gather them into a neat pile.
Thank you, Alana.
Can I
Excellent.
continue?
Thank you. Yes, Hassan, continue.
No, he stated firmly and returned the books to his
The
table.
table. To the
To the
table.
table, not tonight. The light
Librarian. The librarian is the person who works at the library. Librarian.
never left any books out, but today was his birthday. which which me
Which
which
man?
means
Which man?
which man a priest walked to the cupcake cafe for a birthday treat before it closed at 5
30.
and a half p.m.
5:30 p.m. Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you,
can I
Jude.
read?
Continue.
Can I?
Yes, yes, Jude.
That evening, as he sat at home in his book-filled living
You're
room, Rick thought he had the old friend who called to wish him a happy birthday. If only this job had not required him to move halfway across the country. After 6 months here, he had made more than one new acquaintance,
acquaintance.
but not real friends yet.
Okay, thank you, Jude. Ali Fawaz.
Books are my friends, he thought, which reminded him of the books sitting on the table at the library. I might as well go back tonight and shelve them, he decided. He entered the library and flicked the lights. Immediately he noticed a book, A Small World, face down the floor. What's going on? He muttered. He bent down and
And
cautiously and cautiously lifted up the book. Ah, he yelled and dropped the book for a miniature
four
finger.
miniature figures.
Four miniature fingers scrambled out of the way. As he as the book landed on the floor with a thud,
Thank you,
Mr.
ya Ali.
Dodson
Thank you, Ali. Continue, Talia.
Okay, Mr. Dodson. Mr. Dodson
Exclaimed.
exclaimed breath, a breathless voice.
Yes.
We are enchanted
Enchanted.
enchanted to make
Your acquaintance.
acquaintance. What? Who? Rick Hammett?
Stammered. Rick stammered. Yes, he stood with a shock, yani, which means that he couldn't do anything. He was surprised. Continue.
We're the Bookers. I'm William. This is Emily and our children, Harry and
Clementine.
Clementine. By the way, happy birthday. You know, it's my birthday.
Thank you,
Naturally.
Talia. Thank you, Talia. Iltaf. Iltaf.
Natural.
Naturally.
Naturally, we read your
We
file
read.
when you are
We read your
six.
file.
We read your
We read.
file.
This is in the past. We read your file.
We read your file when you arrived 6 months ago.
Ago.
It's only logical that we would want to learn about the new library.
Librarian.
You was librarian. You were scrounging
Scrounging.
scrounging through my files, Rick said, collapsing into a nearby chair.
Nearby.
He rubbed his
He
eyes.
rubbed, not rubbed. He rubbed.
He rubbed his eyes, but the tiny figures
The
were
tiny figure.
still there. The tiny figures were still there, looking up at him expectantly.
Expectantly.
Suddenly,
Expectantly. Thank you, Altaf. Thank you, Noor. Noor. Suddenly.
yes,
Continue reading.
suddenly, the
The
nimble
nimble bookers
bookers began
began chiming
Began
up
swimming.
the table.
Began swimming.
Shimming up the table. We're absolutely trustworthy, Emily assured him.
Assured
Haven't
him.
you heard the bookers? William
Asked.
William asked. Every library had bookers.
Thank you يا نور. برافو يا مس. Thank you. Marie,
Yes.
continue reading.
Here
We 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 ensure
we ins we ensure everything runs
smoothly,
smoothly, said Emily.
said Emily.
Seen said Emily. Seen any mice around?
Seen any mice around?
They,
They love
they love
to
to
know
know to know
on
on
everything,
every
on everything.
Rick, Rick slowly
Shook
shook his head.
his head. Thank you يا Marie. Thank you يا مس. Okay, كريم كردي. كريم. يلا
Yes.
continue reading before the time ends. Continue reading, please. I do nightly rodent patrols. Kareem. Ali Hamoud, read, please.
Yes, miss.
Read, please, read. I do nightly rodent patrols. Don't you pay attention, guys?
I do nightly rodent patrols, Henry stated
Proudly.
proudly. Those mice run at the sight of me, he added
Scornfully.
scar- scornfully. Do your shares ever squeak? Inquired
Clementine.
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 That's because we all them.
Okay, thank you, Ali. Time will end, guys. Please continue reading the story at home and try your best to do your worksheet today to correct it tomorrow together. Okay, guys, to get well prepared for the quiz on
Miss,
Friday. What? You did what?
I read
I
at
did
the
read.
library.
I did read all the paragraphs.
All the text, all the story, you mean?
Yeah, I did read it all.